Well, good morning, good people. From Mark Holmes here from the Red Brick House. And today is going to be a busy day. But then again, every day at the Red Brick House is a busy day. We do have the people from the Historic Society and the Red Brick House Committee that are going to be coming by and actually having a meeting here tonight. This will be the first, I guess we could say, almost event that has happened here at the Red Brick House. And got to get my front porch and stuff cleaned off. Some of the stuff's going down in the basement. Some of the stuff's going to be used this morning. And try and get as much stuff done as we can before they come in. I've got, actually it's already been up for about an hour here. I've been working on the upstairs, getting that stuff done. I'm going to try and box some more of that in. I forgot yesterday because I meant to go ahead and stain the one buys that I got yesterday so I could put them up. So I'm going to stain those things first thing this morning. I have glued up the other set of doors. These are the vanity doors that'll get painted. This set right here, I just need to sand so my wonderful bride can get those painted and we can get those up. And this is for the island, the backside of it. You can't see that unless you're at the sink turned around. Another thing I started working on yesterday was our, basically it's going to end up being my studio table desk that's going to be mobile. Instead of just having a big table in there, I wanted to make something that when I'm not using it, or if we decide that we're going to, let people stay here, you don't want to have a table and a big studio set up. So I'm trying to think of ways to make things that are easily convertible. So it's going to be kind of like a one-size drop down stand. And I think it's going to work out pretty good. So that's the back side of it. It's not real pretty. If you can see, it's some rough wood. But by the time we go through and fill it in, sand it out, I think it's going to be perfect. In fact, it's got that old look to it. That's going to be nice, and it will be functional as well. One thing that's kind of cool about this house, I think it's Judy said that her grandfather or great-grandfather, he was a carpenter. We know that the town's blacksmith, the Arnold family used to have the blacksmith shop down the hill here and things. When they built houses back in the day, okay, and when they ended up needing stuff, you couldn't just go to the hardware store or the Home Depot and just buy something new. They repurposed everything, okay? So when you go through and you look at framing, you'll see boards that may be one buys that are done in the framing and the walls and stuff because that's what they had and they used because wood and things were a premium. And I'm very proud because going through, I'm kind of trying to do the same thing with repurposing all of this wood for the island. It has been incredible. So we're going to take this inside and take it upstairs and let's grab my miter saw and cut that. It's actually really cool right now outside. You know, it's the valley, so at nights it gets into the low 50s and things, and it's nice actually having the heat inside of here to warm it up. I am so in love with this kitchen right now. We're working on getting it cleaned up really nice because we've got the people coming and things and want it to look good. The island here, I've poured it. I need to sand the edges and I need to put a little bit more epoxy on here. It's a very time-consuming process. And what eventually we'll need to do is I'll need to actually sand and buff it out because I've got a couple of low spots that are in here. But for now, considering that this used to be the floor joists, repurposing it and making it look totally different for me is just an incredible feeling. So we're going to go through. I've gotten a lot of stuff on the floor, so I need to get down and scrape that off and stuff. And I may try to go ahead and get some of the base molding done, at least in here, just to try and make it look a little bit more finished when we have company. So I'm going to get to work. All right, so the meeting today is at 5:30, and I haven't gotten as much done as I wanted to. But I'm going through and trimming this out. I thought I had more one buys. This is the guest bedroom, or the downstairs bedroom, Jet's bedroom and things. So I've got enough to do almost all this. We went and got a load of lumber. My wonderful bride is out there right now painting those, so I'll get those to dry. And I'm working on the drawers for the cabinet there, so we'll get that on. This is one of the doors here for the vanity, so we'll get that put on, and we'll clean up in the kitchen. I've got some wood for the base to go in here. We'll see if I get some of that stuff up before we have company. But it's amazing how just doing a little bit of trim work makes all the difference in the world. We've been looking at this unfinished because I've been working on the floors, and it's easier to do this without the doors being in the way. But I'm going to get all this put up in here and things, and it's going to really kind of start to set it off. Even doing little things like this is the stop molding. We hadn't put that on for the bathroom until I just found it today, but now when you push the bathroom closet door, the door, it closes and latches, and boom. So they'll be able to have privacy if somebody needs to use the bathroom. So it's go time. I need to go. Okay, you got to admit, that definitely looks a lot better. Looking in here, seeing the molding put on, and I'm cutting the base to go in here as well. So once I put the base in here, this is really going to look a lot more finished in here. I almost got lucky. These pieces are pieces that I cut off of the butcher block top here to match the stove edge. See how I've got that down there to match? I'm going to be able to use this one for upstairs bathroom, but it's not quite long enough. I could have used that perfectly as a transition in there, but at least I got one of them. So that's repurposing as much wood as possible and making it look better. You can see over here, I've put the base. I do need to make the cap for that. I just got a few pieces to get started with it so we can see what it's going to look like, and just need to put the top piece on here. But little things like this, now you start looking through here, it looks so much better. Oh my God, it looks so much better.
This to the history of Waynesboro and America. Waynesboro was a sleepy crossroads village when the house was built right on the edge of town. The new United States of America was just a few decades old. This house, located along a major transportation route, was involved in the earliest educational and religious efforts in the village. It also served as a meeting place for a large fraternal order, and was a representative example of Waynesboro's growing middle class. In 1865, America's greatest national tragedy, the American Civil War, played out around the house during the Battle of Waynesboro. While the house might once have been a common middle-class house in Waynesboro, today it stands, you gotta understand, I'm reading something from 2013, okay, 10 years ago.
We won't take offense.
All right, stands as a lone representative of what has been lost to fires, floods, growth, and change. It is among the oldest structures in Waynesboro, and as such deserves to stand as a testament to a city that values its heritage and culture. In 2013, a number of area citizens became concerned about a historic structure in Waynesboro that has been owned by the city of Waynesboro for decades. The early 19th century brick structure is at a critical juncture in its history, known variously as the Arnold House after W.C. Arnold, previous owner, and the Red Brick Schoolhouse, as it is the city's, in its history, as it is the city's building codes. I don't know what that is. Recent discussion included the weighing of pros and cons of repair and restoration and adaptive reuse, and as well as the possibility of raising the structure. None of the options is without cost. And a group of citizens known as the Red Brick House Committee has partnered with the Waynesboro Historical Commission and the Waynesboro Heritage Foundation to explore both the building's history and structural integrity. So it ultimately became where the city allowed the Red Brick House Committee to raise funds with the idea that we were going to save this house. And in conjunction, ultimately what happened is that the city transferred the house to the Red Brick House Committee. Then the Red Brick House Committee transferred to Mark Holmes, with the idea that Mark was going to renovate and restore, and the house we've saved. Okay, the Red Brick House, whole idea was to save this house, and we did. And now you're going to, when we go inside, you're going to see what Mark has done to the interior. Mark and Tracy have done in the interior, exterior, and what the future brings to this property. I think it's great, you know, and we all ought to be proud.
Very proud.
That it's come to this point, but the work is still needs to be done. It's moving forward, and I think we'll find that this structure is going to be one of the main historical homes in the city. So then we'll turn it over to Mark and Tracy. I don't know.
I don't know how I follow all that.
I don't know how we want to do it. We could split the group up and some go upstairs with Tracy or Mark, or we could just all go together.
I think we can all kind of go together.
I think we could.
All right, so if you guys were here before, originally it was really soft right in there. In fact, this whole side of the house. All of this is actually logs flattened out that were put there for the floor structure. Fortunately, when they put the porch on, the cement ended up rotting out this side of them, so a lot of them were just floating in space. But we ended up building a whole new support system in between it, but we still kept the original logs. So if you go down there, you can actually see all those original timbers and things like that. But it will be there, trust me, for another 200 years. A lot of the walls were covered with wallpaper and things. We pulled off the wallpaper, and we found plastered walls and the plaster crumbling and falling off and things. I didn't know anything about plastering. I went up with my wife to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and learned how to basically plaster. So this is the first finished coat of plaster on there. The other room over here you'll see where it's just the sand coat. But the bricks were showing through here. The side of the house when we first got it was actually crumbled here at the foundation stuff, and that was one of the first things that we did. And the staircase and everything else, that's all the stuff that was originally here. Now, we did want to have modern conveniences, so there is heating and air conditioning, but the only ductwork you'll see is that return right there and floor registers on this floor, and everything else in the ceiling, because we ended up putting in 2 systems. So when you walk in, it still feels like it's that old house. Well, we had the Historic Society here, and that was cool. They said it was only going to be about a 15-minute meeting. They were here for almost like an hour and a half. And they loved the place. They could not believe, because they had been in the house back in 2013 when it was literally falling to the ground. And so they remember what it was like, and the things they said that I've done to the place, it's just beautiful, they say. So that was cool. And the good thing about that was, because we were having people over, we did a little bit extra cleaning and straightening up and stuff, and it's actually nice to see the place without the layer of dust on it and everything in the way. You can see, well, I pushed the desk over here towards the wall, and kind of took everything out the floor. Ooh, I'm kind of sore today. Took everything up off the floor, and you can kind of see. Oh, this is my Tracy's dad's drafting table. It's actually adjustable. You can see the old metal hardware and stuff on there. It raises up and down, it tilts back and forth. Another great piece here for the house. And it was actually nice. This is going to be like my studio desk. It's nice because it's on wheels, and I put a bunch of the stuff in there to hide it, pushed it against the wall, and that's exactly what it's going to be used for. So that's going to be very, very useful. and my love.
It was my mother's father's.
Huh?
It was my mother's father's.
It was your mother's father's. Oh, okay.
Oh, look at that.
Okay.
Well, here it goes back down.
Okay.
You don't want?
No, I was just looking at it. Okay.
Just go that.
You got it. Bam. Okay. Let's go downstairs because I guarantee you. I'm not. I'm still working out there. Look at this space with nothing in it. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? Okay. Wait, there's more. I'm going to turn down all the lights. So we got this room with all the plaster on it. We got this door. Now check that out. We're going to keep this one natural. We're going to varnish it, but we're not going to paint it or stain it. And here, in this room, we have started doing the base moldings in here. And I got the door moldings. See how nice it looks with the door moldings up on there? In fact, got the door moldings on here and here, and I've started working on the base throughout. So now when you go and look through here, it looks a lot better. See all the trim. It's a lot of doors. 5 doorways in this little spot right here. So that's come a long ways. And then, boy, she turned out all the lights. See, I've started doing the base moldings around in here. And I built these 2 drawers to go into that cabinet. I just got to screw them on. And that's together. And you can see how nice the kitchen is actually coming on. So we technically had our first event here at the Red Brick House. Man. Whew. It's amazing to me. I know it sounds like I'm patting myself on the back. I don't mean to be, but it's amazing. Sometimes I do work and I look back at it and it's like, did I do that? How did that happen? And this is one of those ones that I don't know how it happened. It seemed like, because in my mind I had the images for the kitchen, and we had 12 people here in the kitchen. 12 people. And, it was cool. We had 12 people in here. We had people that were enjoying being out on the deck and things and all that. We went through and we showed the house. But it's crazy because I had the vision of what I wanted this kitchen to look like and how to work. And damn if it didn't actually come out that way. It's crazy. All right, I'm gonna get back to work because I want to sand the top on my counter for the new desk, and I want to do some more of a closing up of the top up there. So I need to take the miter saw upstairs. Forgot what I needed. See, this is what happens when you get old. You forget about the stuff that you were doing. Yeah, you do.